Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1. I'm happy because I've enjoyed a good game of football. Trav's raging because they were so close to winning it. If it wasn't for VAR, this is Onto the Ball on Super Sunday.
Header. But Gerrard! You beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Travis,
Yo!
the year is 2023.
Yes.
Eric Ten Hag has spent $400 million, and you have Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans at centre-back away at the Emirates for the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes, the score was 1 each, and you lost it 3-1. Ten Hag out?
Leicester in, mate. It's like being Leicester City, innit? Yeah.
What a game. What a game. What a game for the neutral.
Really good.
But where do we start?
Pick the bones out of that one.
Man United didn't have a kick for the first 30 minutes. Let's just start from the start. They didn't have a kick until Rashford curled one in the far corner. Against the run of play, you have to say.
Yeah, which I expected. I said in the preview that I thought Arsenal would sort of dominate the game. I don't think Onana had much to do. I think Havertz had the miss kick, but apart from that, Onana didn't really have any big saves to make. But again, same pattern as last year. We go 1-0 up in the game and we just can't seem to sort of navigate and make the game ugly. We're a nice team. That's our problem. We've been a nice team for a long time. We're not streetwise enough. We don't think, oh, right, well, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, let's just sit on that, get a few fouls, get the crowd frustrated, and we just conceded straight away. And as soon as we conceded, I knew we were going to lose the game. I didn't think we'd take the lead in the game. So I thought for the first half an hour, I was pretty content, even though we weren't really much of a threat. I thought, well, they don't look like scoring either. But then as soon as we scored and they equalised straight away, the writing was on the wall. And then you know what United are like when we concede a goal, it's the same old script for us.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. They didn't have long to enjoy the 1-0 lead, did they? Went straight off kick-off, straight up the other end. And Odegaard, what a talent Odegaard is. I'll keep saying about Odegaard till he retires, to be honest. How Liverpool didn't hijack his move to Arsenal when he was available. He was Premier League certified after spending a year on loan at Arsenal. We should have hijacked that deal with Gini Wijnaldum leaving, but hopefully now we've got our own Odegaard in Dominic Szoboszlai. But yeah, Odegaard, I mean, what a finish, what a move from Arsenal. Like I say, Man United couldn't even enjoy the lead for more than a minute. They were obviously shocked at taking the lead for barely having a kick, but you can't take nothing away from the goal. It was a well-worked move.
No, it was a great goal. I think, like you said, I was a little bit not worried with the starting lineup. I expected him to keep the same team. Is the team that I sort of said on the stream, and then I pondered and thought about it after the preview, and I thought we needed an extra midfielder in there to sort of double up on Saka. I think with Eriksen being in there, he gives you what he gives you on the goal going forward, but then from the defensive side of it, he sort of lacks. And I think Martinez sort of spotted it and said to Eriksen that you're going to have to that pick up on the edge of the box, because that's always going to be the threat. And like you said, Odegaard picks up really good positions, but it's not natural to Eriksen. I feel a little bit sorry for him. It's a game like that, he should never be playing in the middle of the park.
So what is his thinking on it? Why is McTominay not getting a sniff?
He obviously doesn't. He's obviously not part of his plans. He just doesn't fancy him. That's why he signed Amrabat. I would have played McTominay today personally, but that's not his player. It's not in his plans. We've got quite a few injuries in there. Obviously, Mason Mount, he would have been playing today. We've got Kobe Mino injured. Amrabat wasn't signed in time, so he's going to have plenty of options going forward. So it's not going to be an excuse for him to get who he wants in the team. But I just felt today there was going to be a lot of running for Eriksen to do. And I'm not saying Eriksen necessarily struggled in the game. He was good on the ball, but in those types of games, you need a little bit more. You need somebody who can get around the pitch and stuff. So we did miss that a little bit today.
Dallo done well at left back though, didn't he? I think that was the only omission from the team that you thought would play was Reguilon at left back. He was obviously on the bench. He didn't get on, did he?
No, he didn't get on. I like Dallo. I like him. I think he's talented. I think with the way we're trying to play, I think he should be actually starting at right back. I know Wan-Bissaka's done all right defensively, but
not today. He didn't.
Yeah, I know you split. You sort of
Wan-Bissaka got roasted.
Yeah, he did. I think he's sort of splitting hairs between him, but I do think Dallow's got a slightly higher ceiling, so I would personally play Dallow over Wan-Bissaka, to be fair. But yeah, I think he had a good game.
Just going to jump in the comments. Dalaval's with us. Cheers for joining again, Dalaval. Top man. Liverpool winning, looking like we're back to our best. I'm not sure I'd go that far, Dalaval. We look so susceptible to counterattacks. Our defense is shaky, but really happy with the win. And of course, and United losing and being shit as always. Ten Hag, what a fraud! Dalaval's calling him a fraud, Trav. He's under pressure. Let's not make any bones about it. He's under pressure, isn't he?
Yeah, he's under massive.
When you've spent 400 million in 14 months and your team's it's still. I know we'll get on to the end of the last 10 minutes and obviously Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, but there's a patched up feel to it. You've got Amrabat on loan. I know that's kind of FFP. You're going to buy him anyway. It's just getting around it. But Reguilon on loan, Sabitzer on loan last year, Weghorst on loan last year. This is Manchester United. Why is it? Is it just me as a Liverpool fan looking from the outside? But it looks like Man United are patched up all the time. Do you feel like that?
When you think about it, I mean, the injury. I've tried to say this during pre-season. We needed to get a centre back. A centre back for me was a priority, just as much as a goalkeeper, a striker, and a midfield player. Now, the 60 million spent on Mount, I wouldn't have spent that on Mount. I would have looked to get a centre back and maybe a backup striker. I was happy with Højlund. I was happy with Onana as signings, but I'm not saying that's why we paid the price today. But you can see a couple of injuries. Varane, we know, notoriously gets injured every season. He's in a sort of similar bracket to Martial in a sense that he's guaranteed to get injuries. So for me, that was a cause for concern. But the manager comes out and says he might not be happy internally. I don't know if there's any sort of fallout, but he does come out and say he's happy with the squad. If Maguire goes, then he goes. If he doesn't, then he's happy to use him. We've got a couple of knocks. So there's no excuses from me as a fan. I'm not going to come out and start blaming all the recruitment and stuff. We've got a big enough squad to move forward. And today's game wasn't reflective of the options that we had. I mean, he brought on the injuries happen in football, in-game injuries. You know what I mean? We had injuries to Lindelof in the game. Maguire came on. He brought Evans on. He probably wanted to sit on the point. And he would have gladly taken the point, but obviously we lost it in the end. A really poor goal to concede in terms of the Declan Rice goal. Just ball drops, no one's closing him down. It's that like weak mentality that not wanting to lose at all costs. You. I mean, when you pay 100 million for a player like Rice, you get that included in the price. It's not just all the technical stuff; it's all those mental attributes that say we're getting over the line no matter what. We haven't got enough of those players in the team, if any. Do you know what I mean? We've not really got any of those characters, and that was the difference ultimately today.
We've got to talk about Onana. You just said you spent big money on him. He's not impressing me. Am I a bitter scouser? Are you seeing something differently? Obviously, I'm comparing him to Alisson, the greatest goalkeeper in the world. That save he made against Newcastle last week, the save he made today against Villa, he's just top draw. For me, Onana's nowhere near that. And I know I said 3 months ago that I don't think the goalkeeper is the biggest area you need to strengthen. Obviously, it was striker. There was talk of Harry Kane. But I would have just kept De Gea. And I don't think Onana's that much of an upgrade on him. Am I being harsh and bitter?
Yeah, that's your opinion. I think he is. I mean, De Gea hasn't even got a club, to be fair. But I mean, Onana, I thought, I don't think he should have saved the second shot from Rice. I think there's a big deflection on it, and he's obviously seeing it late. I was more disappointed with the defending, the fact that he gets a free shot and it's from an angle that he shouldn't really be scoring from, but he should be closed down, and the deflection helps it go in. So no, personally, I think Onana's been one of our better players, and if you don't think he's been good, that's how worrying the situation is.
He should have saved Rice's shot, Trav.
You think?
I think it was near post. I know it took a nasty deflection, but it was in the position enough to get a hand to it. To me, he's palming that round. A top keeper is palming that round the post.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
You not agree?
Not really. No. I don't. I don't think you should save that. No, I think it's
right. Let's
a bit lucky.
Let's move on to the penalty. Obviously, I was doing my nut. I wrote a tweet about it. The penalty on Kai Havertz.
Oh, on Havertz from
Kai Havertz. How was that not a penalty? right? When you think of Rashford last week, and we went on the stream Wednesday night, was it? And you were like, I'm going to clear up straight away. Rashford's was a penalty against Nottingham Forest. Okay, so when you see it, there's a bit of contact. Kai Havertz had 2 points of contact. The first point that knocked his leg, and then the second point to make him fall over. Contact twice. What's different from that from Rashford last week? What on earth was the VAR sending him over to point out? How did he change his mind? And more to the point, do you think it was a penalty?
It's just VAR, isn't it? Like, that's what you get from VAR. That's literally what you get from it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it changes every week. It's all down to interpretation. They might as well remove elements of it. All the stuff that's not matter of fact, they might as well just remove it, because it's just down to somebody's opinion. Offsides, goal line technology, that's cool. They use lines. You can't argue with it. Penalty decisions, handballs, anything contentious, just forget it. Like, there is literally no point in it. Do you know what I mean? It's just 1 week it's one decision, the next week it's a different one. I wouldn't even read into it as much. Like, it doesn't.
But where's the clear and obvious gone as well? So the ref give a penalty. So then you're kind of looking for clear and obvious to send him to the TV screen. The only ways to send him to the TV screen is if there was no contact and Havertz threw himself on the floor. Surely to God, if we're going to have any faith in VAR ever again.
Yeah, I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Like
so was it a penalty?
Yeah, it should be a penalty. If it's not clear and obvious and he's given the penalty, it's a penalty. Like, that's it. It should be given. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, it's not a blatant dive. It's not clear and obvious that it's a blatant dive. So then you just give the decision. Like, it was just so much better when they used to do it like that. Like I said, they should use VAR for factual stuff and just leave all the other stuff to the referee. There's too many people getting involved, making the wrong decisions anyway. Like, there's just no point in it.
Dalavao says about Garnacho's goal. This is the other side to VAR.
Yeah,
I think that was level.
Yeah,
and I hate these lines. These lines are not factual. That VAR line drawing technical guy, they can draw the line to make it look offside or onside. They're deciding. So he's looked at it and he's moved the blue line to where he wants, and he's drew a line up to who was the guy keeping him on side? Gabriel. Drew a line, and then they drew a second line and then pointed it towards Garnacho's shoulder. And I've decided that's offside.
Yeah.
Now, to me, if you pull the camera around, we always say that. Why can't they have the technology now where there's a camera zooming up and down the pitch, so it's bang in line? Because they're drawing a line at a jaunty angle, aren't they?
Yeah. I think it's difficult as well to determine when the pass actually leaves the player's foot.
Yes, and that's the second thing.
That's the other
thing. They're choosing when to freeze frame it, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the tough thing. It looked level before the lines were drawn. It looked level.
Yeah.
But when the lines are drawn, like, is off. So, like, that was very obviously disappointing. It was a great finish and it was a great little move. And then to go from that to losing 3-1, you would have thought, well, what's happened in 5 minutes? And that surely, like, that's just down to the character of the team. Like, that just shouldn't be happening at all. So yeah, shouldn't be happening.
Dalavao says he's so glad we bought Sabosle over Mount. Me too, mate. Me too. Jordan's in. How you doing, Jordan? Cheers for joining again, mate. Top man, you're a legend. What a big win for Liverpool.
Huge win.
Get in. We're flying high in the table. We're up to joint second. Fabrizio Romano from Dalavao. Saudi will be back in for Mo Salah in 2024, but at the moment Liverpool are keeping the player and maintaining their position. He's untouchable. Salah is staying. Let's go. Absolutely.
In the goals again today.
Yeah, in another goal again today. But this is the thing with Salah. We won't get 200 million for him next summer. Plus, he'll only have a year left on his deal. So we'll sell him for that reason. We won't let him go for free.
You probably let him go in the summer, won't you?
But that's the thing. We're not going to get anywhere near 200 million, are we? Not even 100 million, I wouldn't imagine.
Maybe not.
Unless we try to play hardball. But it's just all the timing of everything with the transfer window for us being closed.
Like you said, as a fan, though, if the club aren't going to invest it in the team, it don't really matter. You might as well just want him to stay in it. Like, you know, the club aren't going to spend.
Well, no, they would spend it if we sold him for 200 million. But the problem is that we can't because the window's closed. If this happened 2 weeks ago and Salah said, "Yeah, I want $1.5 million a week wages,"
taking it,
we would have took it and would have spent that 200 million. I'm pretty sure of it. But let's not digress. So yeah, for me, Onana should have done better with the 2-1. But then right at the end to make it 3-1, Gabriel Jesus, what a player.
Great composure.
But let's just get back to it, Travis. I need animation from you. I need a bit of anger even. Harry Maguire
smashing the place
Johnny. Yes, please. Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans. Explain. How on earth? Just how? Is Martinez injured as well? Is that why you're not?
Martinez came off as well, yeah. I didn't think Johnny Evans would be playing at United. I thought he'd get a contract, but I didn't think he'd actually play unless it was like the Carabao Cup or somebody's testimonial. But not Arsenal away. But yeah, I mean, I know what we're saying. They shouldn't be at the club, neither of them. But I don't think that's why we conceded, to be perfectly honest with you. I know it's easy to like make headlines and just target stuff like Evans and Maguire, like, well, before they came on, it was one each, and it's easy to say that. But if you actually look at the goals, like the second goal was just a poor goal. Like it should be closed down no matter who. Do you know what I mean? As much as we want to say about Maguire, like his natural instinct should be to just fly at the ball and put his big slab head in front of it. And he hasn't done that. So you've got to ask yourself, why is he not doing that? Like, there's only so much you can hold like the manager or club or transfer windows to account. Like he's still on the pitch, like that just goes without saying. That should be happening at under 10s. Do you know what I mean? Someone's having a shot, you throw yourself at the ball and block it. Like it's not down to game plans and tactics and all that. It's just basic stuff. That is United. This is Man U. Like you'll get this from United in these big away games when the going gets tough and the backs are against the wall. We just can't see it out. Like we did it last year against Brighton away, 0-0. Point going for the top. Well, I say going for the top 4 like it's a thing, but in the top 4 away, Luke Shaw handball, like no one around him just handballs it. Like you can't legislate for these things. Like I don't know why they happen and I can't explain them. Do you know what I mean? That's literally United and how they are, mate. Simple. I'm used to it now.
I was watching a bit of Mark Goldbridge before we come on this stream, and he was like, "This is what happens, Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans. This is on the Glazers because we're skint." Obviously, from a Liverpool fan sitting here spending 50 million net every year, apart from this summer, for once we've spent 100 million net. I'm sat there thinking, how can he be going on a rant like that when you've spent 400 million in the last 14 months?
I know.
This is what I don't get. Are you skint or you're not?
I don't get it. I don't understand it either. Like this is why there's so many internal rants within the fan base and stuff, and they're all fighting each other every day. Like because they just like, well, 1 minute they blame. If we would have won today, 2-1 Garnacho, everyone would have been like, yeah, we're sick and all that. And then next minute it's on the Glazers and that. So it's just like, I find it boring, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just all day, every day. Like the performance was half decent today. There were periods in the game where we looked okay. Like Højlund came on and did all right for his debut. I thought he looked all right. Arsenal were in control of the game without battering us. And it would have been typical Arsenal to lose that game 2-1 as well. It literally could have went either way. It was just like one of them games where I just knew once we went 2-1 up and it got disallowed, I just knew we would lose that game. I knew it. I just was written in the stars.
Yeah, I got to admit, you could feel like as soon as it come up, like 9 minutes injury time as well, you thought,
yeah,
100%. Hello, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah.
Dalavel's still with us. Cheers, mate. I think we'll sell him for 100 million next summer. I think we would snap their hands off for 100 million next summer. Yeah. As long as we've got top 4 as well, Dalavel. If we've got top 4 in the Champions League, we need that money as well. Yeah. Lindelof's injured as well, is he?
Yeah, he got injured. He came off. He was limping after the game, yeah.
Was that he come off for Johnny Evans?
Yeah, for Johnny Evans, yeah.
Wow. But Johnny Evans nearly conceded in the first 20 seconds, didn't he?
Yes, so that's literally after the international break. That literally could be our centre-back pairing against Brighton.
Maguire and Evans.
Yeah, that could be our centre-back pairing. with Red
Johnny
Willow.
Evans left the club in 2015, 8 years ago. Now he's been brought back in on a free transfer after Man United spending 400 million in the last 14 months.
Here's Johnny. Start watching The Shining, innit?
Ten Hag is accountable here, Travis.
Ten Hag what?
He's accountable. He spent money in the wrong areas.
I said this. As soon as we signed, I'm not pinning it all on Mason Mount, but I did say it when we spent 60 million on Mount, mate. I said I sent the tweet out, didn't I? We're in big trouble, and here's the trouble, mate. It's all coming to fruition. That's it. Like, this is what we're gonna get, bro. This is what we're gonna get.
Dalaval says that Lindelof was sick. He had to go out, so maybe he's not injured. United got Brighton next. Maguire and Evans versus Ferguson and Mitoma. What a matchup that'll be.
Not looking good.
But on the positive side, Højlund, he's rapid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's good. He's a handful as well. And I thought he really engaged the two centre-backs really well. He's going to be an important component for us because he's not just got the speed, he's got the physicality as well. Like, I think he can hold people off. He's got a good touch, a good awareness, good link. Nice little play for Garnacho's disallowed goal as well. So yeah, you can be pleased with his cameo, and he looks like a good character and a good winner as well. I think we need more players that don't accept losing. Like, we just lose too easily. Like, when we lose, it's just too acceptable. So that's why it's difficult, like, for fans to get really irate, because I'm not seeing too many bothered players when we lose these games. Like, I don't see it hurting enough. Like, you think back to, I know it's a long time now, but you think back to the Rio days, the Evra days, the Gabby Heinze days, all that, like Vidic. Do you think,
Travis, you're going to shed a tear in a minute.
Do you think them, man, would have conceded at one each? Just absolutely no chance. Do you know what I mean? They're throwing the face at the ball. Like, it's just like, I just don't see that. So if they've not got that desire, like, I'm just calm about it. It's just like disappointing, but it's just, this is United now. This is the Man United now. This is it, unfortunately. Done.
It's only 4 games in, but will you get top 4, do you think? You know, I love a prediction on our show.
Yeah. No, I don't think we will. No, I don't think we will, you know. Just because our form on the road's just not good enough. Like, if you're scraping wins at home and then going away and losing, like, what chance does it give you? Do you know what I mean? Liverpool, you've gone to Stamford Bridge and St. James's Park, and you got 4 points out of them games. And one of those games, you had 10 men in one of those games. Do you know what I mean? We've gone to Spurs and Arsenal and lost both. Do you know what I mean? And had a good periods in the game, like 25, 30 minutes. It's not gonna get you where you need to get. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Even in the Champions League, the draw looks favorable, but then if you go on the road to the likes of Galatasaray and Copenhagen and that, and you can come unstuck if your character and your mentality is not right. And we just haven't got that throughout the whole side. There's only like 1 or 2 players that have really sort of got that desire to not lose games, and we haven't got enough of it.
But also, you're fortuitous to win your home games, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah, we scraped through
Istanbul against Forest, which you should be smashing Forest at home, and Wolves, you were lucky.
Yeah,
should have been a penalty from Onana, the American wrestler, clotheslining people.
I think it does need time, Ten Hag. Like, it's not even half a thought to start thinking about sacking him, because I mean, not who you're going to bring in, but it's like we've been down this road before. We've put, like you said, we've given him £400 million worth of players. He deserves the time to be. He deserves to be given the time to see what he can do with it. But the away record is a concern. I mean, in terms of the mentality and creating leaders, that does come from the manager. Like, it has to be unacceptable. I've seen him after the game talk about Jadon Sancho's training performances, and that's why he wasn't involved. That's the kind of thing he needs to be doing. If you're not pulling your weight, you need to start being left out. And it's probably going to take longer than the fans thought it was going to take, and what he thought he was going to take. So it's probably going to take him a while to get to where we need to be.
I was going to ask you about Jadon Sancho. What on earth has happened to him? England international, bright star, come back to the Premier League, massive money. And what is he now? 6th, 7th choice forward.
Yeah,
Out of all your forwards, he's right down there.
He's not even getting on the bench. He's just.
Was he not on the bench?
No, he wasn't even in the 18, bro.
And he's not injured.
No. Ten Hag said he's been poor in training, literally.
Wow.
So yeah, he might as well pack his bags. He's finished at United. Another 80 million down the drain.
That's
Crazy,
incredible.
man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
We just pour money down the drain, mate. We just burn through cash.
And I really wanted him at Pools as well, as you know.
He's a good player though, but we mismanage. We do mismanage players. Like they go through transitions where they get mismanaged a lot. Like he's come to the club, a signing under Ollie. Whether Ollie signed him or not, I don't know. But he didn't get used. Ten Hag comes in. He's had a good preseason as a false nine. Not used him. So I have a little bit of sympathy for Jadon Sancho. A little bit. Like his head must be gone. Do you know what I mean? He has had some off the field problems as well. But I can see why he's unhappy. Like he's not getting an opportunity. You come to a massive club, you want to get chances. Yes, there's an element of him underperforming and not delivering as well. But it takes two to tango. Do you know what I mean? Like you need the manager and you need the support and a platform to perform in. And if you're not getting those opportunities and you're on big money and you want to play, then you're going to get frustrated. And we've seen many examples of players with far less ability saying the same thing happening to them at this club. The likes of Alanga, he scored yesterday, said he didn't get opportunities. I'm not saying he's good enough for United's first team, but same boat. Who was the other one that I wanted to mention as well? Jesse Lingard came back off loan, unbelievable at West Ham, got promised game time, didn't play. Same story, you know what I mean? It's the same script for a lot of players, and Jadon Sancho, unfortunately, is just going to be one of those that falls by the wayside.
Yeah, what, like leave for half the price that you bought him for, or even less?
Depends how long his contract runs down.
Keeps going like this, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ravi's just joined us. Big up, lads. Big up, Ravi. Cheers for joining again, mate. Great win for Liverpool today, wasn't it, bud? Maguire and Evans are like something out the Stone Age in defence. Get used to it, Ravi.
Get used to it,
mate. Could be the central defensive partnership against Brighton in 2 weeks' time. Varane's injured. Martinez come off today injured. Who knows how long he'll be out for. Lindelof, it's frightening to think Lindelof, hopefully he's just, hopefully for Man United, he's just ill and he'll be fit for the next game. But for us neutrals, the thought of watching Maguire and Evans at the centre of the Manchester United defence with Onana.
Load the popcorn up. How many goals?
It could be like Comedy Channel. Martial and Anthony, what the heck do they offer? That's a great point, Ravi. Anthony Martial, Trav, I said to you on WhatsApp this morning when I was walking the dog, I just don't get it. He's been at the club, 8 years now? Was it 2015?
Yeah.
2016?
Years now, yeah.
Louis van Gaal. He's even spent 6 months on loan at Sevilla, was it? And like he's back. It just... Is it like a Daniel Sturridge? If he's fit, yeah, he's got a bit of talent. We'll play him, put him on the bench if he's fit. Expecting him to be injured soon anyway. Are they running down his contract to let him leave on a free? It just makes no sense.
I'd literally, you're asking really good questions and I can't answer them. I feel so bad. I don't know, bro. Like literally, I don't know. Like he should have been gone from time, mate. He should have been gone from ages. He's just never fit. He's just like a Louis Saha regen. Just can't stay fit, don't score. It's just like, man, you've got this like nostalgic romance towards him because he wears black gloves and they call him Ice Cold Martial when he scores 1 goal in like 500 seasons, bro. But I don't know, he should be gone, mate. I just don't know. I don't know, like he should be gone. He should be gone, but no one wants him, so he stays, and that's how we operate. And like you said, Ten Hag just fronts it up and says, "Oh, he loves him and all that." But yeah, he's dead, mate. Martial is finished.
What about Anthony as well? When is he going to start racking up some stats, some goals, assists?
I actually thought he did all right today. I think he'll be better.
Yeah, but he always just does all right, doesn't he, Trav?
Yeah.
Obviously, last season I was comparing him to Ian Robin in flashes with the way he moves and his skills, but it's getting to the point now. Is he going to end up being a flop?
Potentially. I mean, he looks better with a centre forward playing with him. He's got somebody to link with and stuff. But like you said, he's not really got that sort of injection of pace that you probably need to play in this league. In order to be direct when it matters. So when he needs to be direct and he's left 1v1, he literally can't go by people. He's not like a Luis Diaz or a Saka. He's not that type of winger. He likes to link with players, and unless you've got all the other components around you and that sort of movement, you can look like poor in a team that's not fully functioning. But I want to give him a little bit more time for sure, because I think once Højlund comes in and he plays Højlund, Rashford, and Anthony, I think you'll see Anthony performing a lot better with a proper centre forward over there. It's been a massive miss for United over the past 2 years. We've not, well, longer than that, we've not had a proper top class centre forward. And I know people are going to say Ronaldo and stuff and the goals he scored and he's the GOAT and all that, and he is. I'm not taking that credit away from him, but in terms of how we needed to move forward, we've bought so many old washed-up strikers, Weghorst, and players past it, Igalo and all that. And it's time we've had a proper striker. So I'm glad Højlund's in. I mean, it makes the Brighton game huge, because if we get beat, which we could quite easily get beat against Brighton. Do you know what I mean? If we've got Maguire and Evans at centre half, anything can happen. Like literally anything can happen. So if we lose that game as well, I think the pressure is really going to crank up.
Is it home or away?
That's at Old Trafford. But I mean, our home form, our home record, I should say, not form, because we don't always play well, but our home record's really good. But that doesn't mean he expects us to win. I mean, Brighton beat us there last year. They were a really, really good side. They played some really good stuff. They'll go to Old Trafford without any fear, and there'll be a game plan. And it's obvious. Obviously, we brought Onana in to try and play out from the back. But if you've got Evans and Maguire playing, who just make a lot of mistakes, they're going to be setting some really high pressing traps. So I'm already scared for what could happen result-wise in that game.
It could be funny watching Onana passing to Maguire.
Oh, man.
And Evans. But just, on Anthony, obviously, he's got no one pushing him either, because Jadon Sancho's got his issues, his problems, whether it's attitude or mental health, or no one really knows. But Anthony's pretty much a dead set to start on the right wing every time. So he's got no one pushing him. He's not in danger of losing his place at the minute because a lack of goals or assists or an end product. Ravi says, Liverpool, we done bits like Tropicana and Darwin. Assist to Salah was great. Yeah, it was a great flick on from the header. It was just a great performance from Liverpool. Yeah, it was a bit like a training game, wasn't it, Trav?
Yeah.
Like Aston Villa with a high line. They didn't really put any pressure. That's probably the least effective game Ollie Watkins has had in the last 3 years. He's got a big reputation, and that Diaby's getting quite a fan base now, but he was quiet. We were efficient. It was like I say, the second half was just, it was so boring. Like I say, it was a training game. Too easy, way too easy. As soon as we started making subs, bringing on all the Harvey Elliots and Cody Gakpo and all that, the game fizzled out. But great performance, 3 easy points, and we're flying high in the league. Ravi says the problem with United players not going is that they are on high wages and teams can and don't want to pay them type of wages. And that's it, isn't it? We mentioned on our stream a couple of weeks ago, Trav, it's not just like, right, Harry Maguire, you're not wanted anymore. It's when Man United will pay Harry Maguire and Anthony and the lad they've just signed, Mason Mount, they'll come in on 200, 250 a week, won't they? Yeah. Whereas Liverpool will look for players like Szoboszlai that are on 100, 120k a week. If you turn into a great asset for Liverpool, you get the wage rise to 200k a week. Man United bring them in on these big wages, which is why they sign most of the players they want to sign, and they choose Man United, because all players love money. But then when it doesn't work out, it's not just a case of, Harry Maguire, he cost us 80 million, we'll let him go for 30 million. It's not as simple as that. As we've seen, Harry Maguire's like, I want paid off because I'm taking a wage cut to go to West Ham.
Yeah, and
that'd be the same with Martial, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the sales haven't been great for us. That is probably the one thing that let the window down. The sales weren't what they could have been at the start of the window. It looked quite promising when the players were linked and fees were getting agreed, but some of those deals didn't go over the line. And yes, it would have probably been nice to have a little bit more money there, so we could have bought maybe 1 or 2 extra in. But like I said, it's no excuses. We've got plenty of players. We made plenty of signings. Yes, I know some of them have been loans and stuff. They have, but the players are there. It don't matter whether they're on loan or not. The players are there. So I think we just need to get the injuries back. Ten Hag's got a lot of work to do on the training ground. Getting the mentality right, the desire. It's got to mean something to these players when they're conceding these late goals in big games and losing, and like what it means to the club. Do you know what I mean? It's just, you're not seeing that. I'm seeing us conceding 2-1, and it's just like, all right, cool, like we did all right. Like that's literally just the mentality that I'm seeing. It's not hurting the players. And that's probably the most difficult thing to connect with as a fan, because I've like watched that game and I'm disappointed, but I'm probably should be angrier than I am. Like I'm just used to it, bro. Like I've seen it. I've been down this road for the last 2 to 3 years, where I've seen us like lose big games and going down with a bit of a whimper. So until it's going to take quite a while to change that. Whether Ten Hag's the man to do it, I don't know. Like time will tell. Like he's rightly being questioned. It doesn't mean he should be sacked, but it's not like we've bought Pep Guardiola in and we're like surprised by what we're seeing. This is a guy who, this is by far the biggest challenge he's had in his managerial career. He's not a young manager. Do you know what I mean? He's been at Ajax and he's been at Utrecht and he was at a team called Eagles before or whatever. So it's not like we're bringing in a veteran who's been around the block and it's like the players aren't listening to him and stuff like that. This is new to him. Like he's trying to implement his style, his way in this league. Can he adapt to it? He gets paid big money, and only time will tell. He will definitely get to the end of this season. And that does depend, to be fair, where we finish. Like he's not going to get sacked if we don't get the top 4. But if it's like a season like Chelsea where we're like finishing 10th and stuff, which I don't think will happen, but you just don't know. If it's that sort of season, he'll be under massive pressure. He really will.
Do you think any of it's on his head that the outgoings have been horrendous? Because you didn't really get rid of much deadwood last year either, did you? And then if you think the transfer window's shut now, you're still lumbered with Martial. Or, I mean, lumbered as in players that were rumoured to be leaving or that are not in Ten Hag's plans. Martial, McTominay, Maguire, Van de Beek. Is Donny Van de Beek still there?
Still there.
Like all these players must be picking up a massive salary. They're not fancied by the manager, and you couldn't shift any of them on.
Yeah, I think some of those players had offers and they just didn't take them. Like sometimes it's no fault of your own or fault of your clubs, and it's down to sometimes the player's ambition. And I think what you've just mentioned there sort of typifies where the club at. Like some of these players, not all of them, some of them are just happy to sit on the wage, just pick the money up. And for a lot of them, because they've underperformed or not been playing or not been used, I think they know in their head the only way is down. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to pick the peas up. Like when they leave United, some of the clubs that these players have been linked with is just so uninspiring for these players, and they just want to hold on to the United name and status as long as they can. So that's why
200k a week.
That's it.
Because what kind of money would McTominay be on if he left? Somewhere around 70, 80k a week, do you think? And he must be on more than that at Man United.
I don't think he'll be on much more than that. He'll probably be on 100 grand or maybe a little bit more. But obviously, Maguire is going to be on big money. Martial signed for a lot of money. Donny van de Beek will probably be in and around the 140, 150 mark. So yeah, like you said,
Sancho as well.
Sancho would have been on racks. Yeah, he would have been on big money. Big
but they
money.
Must have been looking to offload him in the summer somehow. Like, how long's he been there now? Is it 2 or 3 years?
He came when Ollie came. So Ollie's 3rd season. So he's been there. This is his 3rd season.
3rd season. They must have been looking to offload him, and they can't because he's either mentally unstable or his head's just not right or unfit.
Yeah, something's not right.
You've
got too many of the same type of winger, though. That's what I'm saying. Sancho, Anthony, apart from Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony, they're just cut from the same cloth. Like none of them can go by a player with any sort of blistering pace or direct nature. And they're just quite easy to lock up, especially when you've not got a centre forward that like can hold it up or take players away and create space for you. It's hard. It's hard as a winger at United. It really is. Like that's why Rashford's priceless, because he's just so productive. He'll score goals even if he's not playing well. So yeah.
Ravi says the way Liverpool controlled the game was good. Anfield has to be a hard place to play at. Absolutely. And it definitely felt like we're getting back to that, Ravi, today. Like I say, the game was pretty much controlled from the first minute to the last. Scoring early doors, getting a second. It was a routine win. And you're absolutely right. For us to get back to where we hope to be, we need to make games like that look routine. It didn't look routine last week or 2 weeks ago against Bournemouth when we conceded in the first 5 minutes. You thought this is going to be another season like last season, but we quickly turned that game around, got the 3 points, scored 3 goals, and today was another 3 goals. Yeah, we're looking good. Are you jealous, Trav?
No, but you are looking good. I mean, if you're dating back to like last season, you're unbeaten in like 15, 16. So
yeah, that's a good point.
The run is fantastic, and like you said, you've got it wasn't the rebuild you thought, but you have rebuilt. You've signed 4 midfielders. Gravenberch wasn't involved today, so Klopp's going to be happy because he seems to have a knack of being able to get players that teams haven't heard of, and it might be underwhelming for bragging rights because you've not signed Bellingham, Enzo, and Caicedo, but Klopp has a way of putting it and constructing and putting a team together that works. So, like you said, you got to give him full credit for what's going on at Liverpool at the moment. Like you said, Villa a side that's well sort of dispatched comfortably, 3-0, no problems at all, clean sheet. You've got injuries that are coming back as well. Thiago, Van Dijk was suspended today. So, yeah, there'll be a feel-good factor at Anfield. It's positive. You're scoring plenty of goals. And it's looking good. Like I said, the Europa League's an opportunity for you to rest some players, keep players ticking over under no pressure, get Nunes playing through the middle and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's all positive at Liverpool at the moment. All positive.
I think Endo could have the shortest ever Liverpool career. Do you know that?
Do you reckon?
He was, let's be honest, he was dropped today. He played 1 game and was dropped, and he struggled. And when he's 31 at his next birthday, it's not like he's going to get up to speed in the Premier League. He had to hit the ground running. So I was quite surprised to see Jones in today and Endo. 1 game and you're out. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see how it transpires. I'd hate to think Klopp already doesn't fancy him like some of the fan base don't.
No.
But yeah, Liverpool are cooking. Man United were cooked in the end by the scoreline anyway. You were in the game for large parts.
Huge problems.
Trav's going to go and have a little cup of tea and watch a movie and try to forget all your football woes.
That's it. International break now. Perfect time for me. International break. Don't have to think about football. And that's it. I can get into another sport, start researching other sports gear, order some cricket pads or something, mate. That'll be me done.
Googlies. Right, nice one. If anyone's been watching all this way, Ravi and Dalavar were with us pretty much the whole stream. Really appreciate that, lads.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers.
Anyone else? There's 5 watchers just now. Don't forget to like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And me and Trav will see you on the next one. Nice one. Cheers, Peace. Trav. And unlucky today, mate. Cheers, it was unlucky. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother.
Header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son!